Oh my goodness! The twinning is undeniable. I could be a furniture in this hotel. I'll be a goddess statue. Like... This is Charlotte, your identically recovering shopaholic, in today's episode 3 of Exposing My Exes. Exposing my exes. Exposing my exes. I wanted it to be a little bit more like scandalous effect. So ano, chismisa na naman tayo. Well, kung dyan kayo naliligayahan, di go tayo dyan. So today is episode 3 of this series called Exposing My Exes, where I paint myself to be an angel of a girlfriend.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. My friends will definitely call me out on this. And I'm just trying to be recalling these events as fair as I can and trying to put out as many disclaimers as I can. Don't villainize these exes of mine. They're actually not the villain. It's... Why am I taking the chance that my F-bombshells will think that I'm not a role model? Well, to begin with, I'm really not. But I just want to expose my experience in past relationships in case it helps my F-bombshells who are still on this very stressful journey of paglalandi. Of paglalandi to forever. The ex that we are exposing today is the ex that I would call the perfect guy. The ex who was the perfect guy. And if you have watched my episodes previously, you know that my type of guy is someone who's studious, intelligent, brainy, nerdy. The type of guy who knows the square root of cosine of pi to the theorem of existentialism. Meron ba nun? Basta the kind of guy whose head is buried in a book and I have to get creative in ways to get his attention. So this ex of mine, this perfect guy, was not only studious and intelligent and brainy, he was also funny. And so I met him when my other relationship was already failing, and so I switched sides quickly because that's just what you do. And he really was just the perfect guy. Smart and funny, not unattractive, adored my family adored him, adored his family, my friends thought he was a darling, like perfection, yung parang pang pelikula, the thing that you think only exists in the movies. And even his adoration and worshipping of me was like movie-like. Hindi lang ako Diyosa, para na rin akong Cleopatra na sinusubuan ng ubas habang pinapaypayan ng balahibo ng ibon. If I told him na, kunan mo ko ng kuko sa kaliwang paa ng agilang nasa himpapawid ng Mindanao, he would find a way to do it. He would find a way to do it. I was a spoiled brat princess queen. Terrorist. I found the alipin that I wanted. He was at my beck and call and had no other interests but me. My narcissistic self was so puffed up like some kind of puffed up cock fighting rooster. Bakak! So ano na naman, Carlota? Ano na naman ginawa mo? Paano mo na naman sinabotahe itong perfect guys, perfect relationship? Ano pa bang kulang? Ano pa ba hinahanap mo? Gusto mo bang wag na maglakad? At ikarga ka na lang ng pahalang habang sinusubuan ka ng ubas? At pinapaypayan ka ng balahibo ng ibon? Habang kinakamot ang likod mo ng kuko ng agila mula sa kaliwang paa sa Mindanao? When I look back at this relationship, I also don't understand how it could not work. I think it did not work because just like Barry Manilow said, we had the right love at the wrong time. He was at the wrong time of my life. He was super husband material. But I was not wife material then. I was not ready to settle down. I just graduated college and at that time just starting my singing career. It was new and exciting and I had to learn the ropes in this new industry that I was in. And sadly, having a boyfriend was just dragging me down at that point. Parang pabigat. How pabigat if you were with a perfect guy? As a singer, I wanted to wear plunging clothes. I wanted to be the hubadera that I was meant to be. My hubadera levels were at its peak.
Wow.
I am so mellow now. Back then, Mini skirt? Stockings? We don't need her. Stockings? We don't know her. Stockings? We trash that. Cellulite? What is that? I could wear anything and I did. And I could even wear nothing and I wanted to. And him being that typical Pinoy conservative didn't like it, and we would get into arguments about it. And also, being a singer back then, we had to do PR. We had to have developed good rapport with our regulars, and those regulars can show interest at you, and we as singers were not really encouraged to say that we are in a relationship. We were encouraged to remain or appear single. Yes, that's how the band industry was when I entered it. I had to have the illusion of being single, and also it still happens nowadays. Like, look at BTS, totally denying that they ever had any girlfriend or are they in a relationship. I mean, it's possible, but really it's just showbiz. I mean, imagine how many millions of hopeful armies will be depressed if they reveal that they have girlfriends. So it was the same back then in my industry. And so this ex of mine, we would always argue about me having to sit with guests, having to entertain these guests. And he had every right to as a boyfriend, you know, coming from a point of view of a guy. So suddenly, the perfect guy was not the perfect one for me at that time of my life. And so I ended the relationship with him. I chose my career over love at the time. I was young then. I was thinking maybe he and I can get back together one day, someday. You know, at that moment, I want to break free. I want to break free. Okay, tama na. Baka ma-copyright strike tayo. So what is the takeaway in this very frustrating relationship? I can feel your frustration because you're probably thinking, you already found the perfect guy. What's wrong with you? We always have a takeaway because what for does something fail if you do not reflect about it? The takeaway is timing plays a huge role in your search for forever. You may be at the time of your life where you are, for example, building a business or pouring your heart and soul into your studies or your career or traveling the world as an OFW. And these are just examples of instances where having a boyfriend or having a relationship is not ideal. There is no stability in those kinds of situations. Be always traveling or having to pour hours and hours of your life into your studies or your career because relationships require time. And if your priority is already consuming majority of your time and then you have to give time to someone else, you have no time for yourself, and that stresses you out. My life as a band girl did not have any stability in any way or form. Plus, I did not have the emotional maturity that might have saved that relationship back then. And we were probably not compatible in the sense that, newsflash, I am not conservative. Whoa! Incredible news! Astounding! Stupendous! So it might have not really worked even in the end, even if I had the emotional maturity then, because he was conservative and I wasn't. And you know what? In that sense, Mr. F and I are more compatible in that way, in that he is even less conservative than me. It was also because Mr. F became my boyfriend at a time that I was more stable in my career and I did not have to play by the same rule book as the one that I played before when I was just starting out. Like nowadays, my regulars, I couldn't care less if my regulars asked me if I have a boyfriend. I would straight out say yes po. Even like famous politicians, they would insist, happily married? I'm like, yes po, happily married. Now, at this point in my career, I could be brutally honest to regulars about my relationship status, and I couldn't care less how that would impact my business because I know that I could get jobs without them. Back then, I couldn't, but now I can. So timing played a large part in the failure of that relationship. So I ended the relationship because it was a series of fights, of jealousies, and of not agreeing with what I'm wearing, and also of having to spend time with him when I wanted to spend time with my band. I wanted to hang out with my band, and I kept having to tear myself away from it to invest some time in a boyfriend. So I ended it and moved on to the next one. Was the next one better for the timing? Of course not. Among all my exes, he was the one I felt most sorry for, that I hurt the most, because he was like collateral damage as I was stabilizing my mind, my life, and my career. But he himself was not the problem. But that just goes to show that the perfect guy might still not be the perfect one for you. Oh gosh, this is so exhausting, right? Love life is so exhausting. Just when you think you already found the perfect guy and it still did not work. There are a lot of variables that play in creating a healthy, happy relationship. Don't worry, guys. The perfect guy found his perfect girl and he's happily married, and I'm happy for him. I'm sure he's happy for me, and we all live happily ever after all. Aww. It's just the initial pain of the process that we all have to go through before finding the right balance. Hang in there. Make sure that you are processing these things intelligently so that you can guide yourself to a good decision. There you have it, everybody. Episode 3 of Exposing My Exes. And I hope you enjoyed once again this little story time, and please don't forget to comment down below. Please don't forget to like this video, because these videos are so hard to make. Any video is so hard to make, and I feel like I'm in this endless cycle of creating and writing down thoughts, and then filming and setting up and then editing. It's just vicious and it's really exhausting. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you're staying safe and sane, and I will see you on the next episode on Upload Tuesdays for Brainisms and Charlosophies. Bye! Basta someone whose head is buried in a book and I have to get... Basta someone whose head is buried in a book and... Buried or buried? Buried. My narcissistic self was puffed up like a like a cock. Cockfighting. Hello? Dumi ng isip nyo. My narcissistic self was completely puffed up like a puffed up rooster. Bakak! Ano yan? Bakit nag-ganon yung boses ko? Bakak! Bakak! Oh my gosh. Epekto yan ng pagla-livestream ng 8 hours. Bakak! 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 And we were also probably not compatible in the sense that, news alert, I am not conservative. Whoa! Flash news! News flash. Flash news. News flash, gaga.